Happy Father's Day. We are going to get started with our gathering song, Spirit is in this place. If you feel so inclined, stand up and sing along with us. Here we go. Everybody sing along. Spirit is in this. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit's in this place. Shouts of praise, Spirit's in this place.
I like this candle that represents the Christ consciousness, the divine essence, the presence and power of God that is within us and all around us and in this place. And in the resonance of that tone, we turn within and connect with the divine presence of God. So we thank you, Father, Mother God, for the love and the peace and the power that created us and that expresses in and through and as us today. So we immerse ourselves in this truth, in the presence of God for this next hour or so. We allow ourselves to be here, to be lifted up, to be shined up through the music, through the message, through the meditation, and through the community, the spiritual community that we are as unity. So today we celebrate fathers as it is Father's Day, and we celebrate also the divine masculine, the archetype that is strength and power and supply and consciousness in the universe. And if you have someone that you want to bring into your awareness at this time, a father figure may have been maybe your own father, may have been your own father, or a father figure that you are familiar with, to just bring them into your heart, to send them the love of God, thanking them for their presence in the world. So we give thanks for all of this, and we pray this in the name and in the nature of the indwelling Christ presence. And so it is. Amen. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Unity of Jupiter. We are an out-of-this-world, down-to-earth spiritual community, creating heaven on earth as we practice these spiritual principles. And I love the truth teaching of as above, so below, as in heaven, so on earth, as in our minds, so in our physical experience. So that's one of the things that I try to practice, is to bring more spirituality into my humanity. And that's what we do here. So welcome. We are also here to celebrate God, to become more aware of that one power and one presence, God the good, that is within us and all around us. And is anybody here for the first time today? Our friend over here, thank you. Anybody else? Welcome. Nice to have you here. Thank you for being here. And I also want to welcome anybody who's joining us online this morning. This morning we have a new online system platform working. We're affirming that it's working. All right. So it'll be less distractive to all of us as we have this new thing that we're doing. We're going out through Zoom and then connecting to Facebook Live and YouTube. I don't know if we have the YouTube connection going yet, but we eventually will. And so the good thing about that, those of you watching online, we'll be sending out a Zoom link so you can actually be in the room with us. My intention is to put you on the screen during our celebration of friendship when we're greeting each other, so we can see who's on the screen from around the world. And so we'll all stay connected in that way. The wonderful blessings of technology that COVID taught us, right? Yeah, so thank you all for being here, and we want all the new people to know that no matter your background, your race, your sexual orientation, your lifestyle, your previous or current religious affiliation, that you're welcome to celebrate God with us here at Unity, because unity and God leave no one out. So thank you for being with us this morning. All right. And this is our statement of truth that we say every morning, every Sunday. Let's say this together. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. And our affirmation for today is, together, I give thanks for all expressions of fatherly love. Let's take a deep breath into this. And say this one more time. I give thanks for all the expressions of fatherly love. And so it is. And if you have one of these devices, we invite you to take it out and to post on your social media account, whether that's Facebook or Snapchat. Oh, hey, just called my brother. Or you can call your brother. It's just as I think of my brother, who's a father, and he's in the hospital, been in and out of the hospital for a year, and he's back in the hospital, so I just want to send him love and blessings right now. And so what we like to do is post on our social media account, just post courageous compassion, and then you can send that out to the world and silence your cell phone, and we've fed two birds with one crumb. And my daughter's here, so she won't be texting me during the service. Although, do I do that? You forget where Dad is on a Sunday morning sometimes. All right, and now we're going to move into our congregational song, so we invite you to stand. This song that we're singing today is I and My Father Are One. go. So there's kind of a chant that goes very simple. So as you learn it, we invite you to sing with us. I and my Father are one.
I and my Father are one.
I know, I am, I am. I and my Father are one. I and my mother.
I and my mother are one. I and my mother are one.
I know, I am, I am. I and my mother are one. I and my brothers are one. I and my brothers are one. I know, I am, I am. I and my brothers are one. I and my sisters are one. I and my sisters are one. I know, I am, I am. I and my sisters are one. I and the children.
I and the children are one. I and the children are one.
I know, I am, I am. I and the children are one. I am that I am, I am. I am that I am, I am. I know, I am, I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am, I am. All right. We will get to know that song better as time goes on. And this is our ritual of friendship. So however you are comfortable, wherever you are in your COVID ongoing, we invite you to greet one another, whether that's a handshake or a hug or just some energetic blessings that you want to send around the room as we sing, I am the light of God. 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 And you are the light. Tell somebody.
You are the light of God. You are the light of God. You are the light of God.
We are the light. Hands in the air if you dare.
We are the light of God. We are the light of God. We are the light of God.
I am. Bring it back into your heart.
I am the light of God. I am the light of God. I am the light of God.
Please be seated.
Good morning. We're so glad that you're here with us today. The daily word for today is Father's love. And we affirm, I give thanks for my Father and all expressions of fatherly love. And the message is, I treasure my childhood memories of feeling safe when my father or a father figure in my life was nearby. I remember my father's encouragement as I was learning to ride a bike, as we explored the wonders of nature together, and as he taught me to use money wisely. Even when I made youthful mistakes, my father's sometimes stern but always wise judgment helped me find the way back to my right path. I give thanks for both the sacred human and the unfolding expression of God within my Father and everyone who has blessed me with fatherly love. Today, I pray for my father and for all fathers, affirming for each of them growing wisdom, understanding, and willingness to nurture others with a father's encouraging love. The Bible verse for today is from John 15:9. As the Father has loved me, so I have loved you. Abide in my love. And we have a few announcements for today. This Friday is going to be Sacred Chant Kirtan Concert. We do this every month on the fourth Friday. This Friday, June 25th, from 6:30 to 8:30, Kirtan is a form of music that uses the power of sound to heal and uplift. It's practiced in groups as a call and response method that is simple yet powerful. No experience is necessary. Just bring your open heart. Our Love in Action volunteer program's second training session next Sunday after our celebration service beginning at 12 noon to 2. If you didn't attend the first training and you want to join us, you are more than welcome to do so. Just sign up. I think we had like 28 people at the first one, so that was just awesome. So thank you very much, and back to Bodhi.
Thank you, Michael. And now is our moment of appreciation. And this is a time when I usually select somebody in the ministry that has gone above and beyond the call of duty, and we just want to acknowledge your service to the ministry. And today I want to extend that out past the walls of this ministry to Unity Worldwide Ministries. Unity Worldwide Ministries is the association that we belong to, that holds my ordination, that gives us all kinds of guidance as far as bylaws and youth ed material and conflict resolution. God forbid we ever need that. And but all those kind of skills that an association would provide. So I just want to appreciate them because this last week we had our annual ministers conference, which was a Zoom conference, which they affirmed that in 2022 we'll be back to in person. That'll be nice. So let's just send a blessing out to Unity Worldwide Ministries, thanking them for their love and service to our ministry and to the Unity movement. All right. So we're going to move into meditation now. Invite the music team to join me as we sing Love, Serve, and Remember. So as we move into this more sacred, quiet time of contemplation, I invite you to relax and sing along with us if you'd like, or hum along, or however it feels good to you, or just listen. Why have you come to earth? Do you remember why have as we move deeper into conscious contact with the Lord of our being, we open our hearts with gratitude for this opportunity to connect, to be still, to listen for that still small voice that is ever guiding us onward and upward into a greater expression of love and peace and joy and abundance of all good things. So, and in this day, this celebration of Fathers, we reflect on Jesus' teachings and how he taught us to be in relationship with God, which was this parental relationship, a loving relationship with the one power and the one presence, God the good, that he called Father. And although that term for God may not work for all of us, we hear it for what and how Jesus meant it. To know that it was this nurturing, providing, protecting energy. The cause of all physical things in the universe comes from that Father energy. We give thanks for this, and maybe perhaps this is a time for us also to do some forgiveness work or some healing work with our fathers, just in the simple way of sending blessings and sending prayers. So connecting first with your own heart. Connect with the Father, with your Father, with God the Father, with that energy of the divine masculine. Sending out that love and that blessing, and receiving back the same energy that loves and blesses you. I am one with the Father, and the Father is one with me. And in this truth, we are all blessed. Blessed with that spark of divinity that created each and every one of us. I and my Father are one. Let us know this truth deeper today as we move into the silence and into the stillness, affirming silently, I and my Father are one in the silence. And having touched the stillness, even for this brief moment, we are grateful to connect with the spiritual realm of life and bringing that into the physical world with gratitude, knowing we are abundantly blessed in all good things. We give thanks and pray this in the name and the nature of the indwelling Christ presence as we sing together once more. Love, serve, and remember. Why have you come to earth? Do you remember? Why have you taken birth? Why have you welcome Sophia Campbell to join me as we're going to sing a song together called, let me put that in there, I Won't Give Up. We've been doing this together since she was 7, I keep saying. But not this song. We did sing this once together, about 5 years ago.
It's chilly up here.
It's chilly up here. Not for long. You're going to have to make sure I'm right there. It's good.
And I look into your eyes, like watching the night sky, or a beautiful sunrise. There's so much they hold.
And just like them old stars, I see that you've come so far to be right where you are. How old is your soul?
I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up.
And when you're needing your space to do some navigating, I'll be here patiently waiting to see what you find.
'Cause even the stars,
They burn,
some even fall to the earth. But we've got a lot
to learn. God knows we're worth it.
No, I won't give up.
I don't want to be someone who walks away so easily. I'm here to stay and make the difference that I can make. Our differences, they do a lot to teach us how to use the tools and gifts we got. Yeah, we got a lot at stake. And in the end, you're still my friend. At least we did intend for us to work. We didn't break, we didn't burn. We had to learn how to bend without the world caving in. I had to learn what I got and what I'm not and who I am. I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up. I'm still looking up. And I won't give up on us. Even if the skies get rough. Giving you all my love. God knows we're worth it. We're worth it.
No, I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough.
Giving you Thank you. Something about having a moving music. And thank you, music team, for backing us up there. There's a lesson about fatherhood, huh? Moving through your imperfections. I know there's lots of areas in my life where I could have been a better father. As with all of us, we probably have, all fathers have a little bit, something in there where we could have done something better. But I do know that when it comes to music, there's one thing that I did right with Sophia. From the time she was born, basically from the time it was bath time, we would be doing music together. I would take my guitar into the bathroom. The bathrooms always have the best acoustics in the house. And we would just sing and play music. And remember the cat song? Let meow. The cat would come into the bathroom and then it would want to get out. So we sang a little song, let meow. Yeah. Happy Sunday. You know, they say that sometimes we'd rather see a sermon than hear one any day. And that's my sermon for today, is what I can do with my daughter in this way, that she'll connect with me and still come and do this with me, even in my imperfections and all the other things we got going on in our lives, that she at least still will come and sing with me. Pretty cool to have a 17-year-old be able to connect with me in that way. And you know what I mean. Something that happens around that age with girls, right? Where don't necessarily want to be around dad as much or at all. So thank you, baby. Thanks for making me a dad. I didn't think I was going to get to be a dad this time around. I was 43 when Sophia was born, and her mom's even older than me. So it was quite a miracle that Sophia showed up. And that song that we sang by Jason Mraz became a hit accidentally. It was off of his album. I'll forget the name of it. There was another. What's his other hit song? I Won't Give Up, and the reggae song, I'm Yours. So I'm Yours was his hit off of this album, and it really propelled him onto the charts, and it set him up for life, he said. That one song set him up for life. But it also allowed him to write this other song, that I Won't Give Up, which is this, he said it was really about the chorus in the song, that I'm not going to be the one to walk away, I'm here to stay and make a difference, make the difference that I can make. And it takes a lot of courage to do that in life, right? It takes a lot of courage to move through your challenges, to move through the times that are most difficult, and to stick with it and get to the other side of it. So as we celebrate Father's Day and the divine masculine, we also celebrate this idea of courageous compassion that it takes to move. It's the energy that I love about masculinity that makes the world a safer and a better place. Because sometimes it's hard to stand up for the things you believe in. But sacred masculinity is about doing just that, standing up for what you believe in to make the world a better place. And first of all, there's so much to talk about today, as today is June 20th. There's so much going on in the world. First of all, the month of June is Pride Month, so we're celebrating the equality of people's sexual identity and how they show up sexually, and not holding them against that. That love is love is love is love, right? And we also had the celebration of Juneteenth yesterday, where we're honoring African Americans and the end of slavery that happened on June 19th years ago. It's the first time now it's a national holiday. And it's Father's Day, which is another thing to celebrate. And it's summer solstice, which is today or tomorrow. I always get confused. Is it today? Anyway, it's the longest day of the year. If you're wondering why it's still light out, it's summer solstice. So there are all these things that are going on, and a lot of them are connected to this masculine, this divine masculinity. And when I talk about divine masculinity, I'm not necessarily talking about men. Divine masculinity is an archetype that is that energy of strength and power and creation and those kind of qualities. No, it's... Yeah. And so it's so funny when you get all these devices, you have to remember to turn them all off. So, but actually I did. I have it. I don't know how things get through sometimes. Anyway. It's distracting. See how our devices can distract us from life? Even when you think you've turned them off. So divine masculinity is an archetype in the world, just like divine femininity. And the thing is, we all have both of those qualities within us. And our work, as we talk about these things and we evolve spiritually, is to find that balance where we can both be the love and the power of God in the world. So there's work that I do outside of my ministerial work called the Mankind Project. I don't know if any of you have heard about it, but we have a initiation weekend. There's kind of a hero's journey, and then we sit in groups in circles once a month or a couple times a month and process the work that we do as men to be more accountable to ourselves, to our friends, to our families, to our communities. And it's really powerful work because nobody's allowed to just like dump their stuff on other. You have to own your stuff, which is one of those divine masculine qualities, to own your stuff and to be willing to look at it. So there are 4 archetypes that we do in this work. The first, and they're kind of laid over the Lakota medicine wheel. If you know what that is, it's a circle that has 4 directions: the north, the east, the south, and the west. And everything starts in the east, just as the same as the rising sun starts our day. And the realm of the east is the realm of the lover. And the lover is the realm of our feelings. And, men don't do feelings that well, do we? I mean, it's kind of known in the culture that we don't do feelings that well. We do anger real well. There's one feeling that we can do real well, and we can also withdraw real well. But we work on 5 major feelings, which are mad, sad, glad, shame, and guilt. And if we're feeling those feelings, we can actually name them and give a word to them and find a place in the body where it lives and give it a color or a texture or something so that we can connect with it. Because that's part of our problem as men, is that we don't connect with our feelings enough. We just let them pass. Men don't do that, right? So we move from this realm of feelings to the south, which is the realm of the warrior. And the realm of the warrior in our work is about accountability and the energy of a warrior that it takes to be accountable to yourself, to your loved ones, to your work, to your community. If we look at the world today, there's not a lot of accountability, is there? It's like everybody wants to blame somebody else for the problems. And that's not, it doesn't help. It just makes things worse. So we learn to be accountable, and we work with each other to be accountability partners. And because we've gone through this initiation together, we can hold each other up and and hold each other accountable and be willing to call each other out on this because we love each other and we've created this safe container. So I think about Jesus and his journey with the 12 disciples and the safe container that he created to help people to evolve. You know, how many times did he say, how long do I have to be with you? How many times do I have to tell you this? And he was willing to say that, to call them up, to believe, to have faith, to believe in God, to believe that everything is working for our best, to know that you and I and the Father are one, and to feel that connection. And he loved them enough. Love was the container that he was able to call them up into a greater expression of life. So we move from the south and the warrior to the west, and the west is the realm of the magician. And every man has a magician within him, and that magician is about, those are his healing gifts. Those are the gifts that you bring to the world, your meaning and purpose and what you do in the world as a man. So we do our deep healing work where we have this safe container where we can go so deep and to release our anger and our fear. And I think about Jesus, and, you know, some would say he was a magician, right? With his healing work and the way that he showed up. And he also had that warrior in him where he was willing to go into the temple and say, hey, this isn't what this place is supposed to be. And he turned over the tables and he chased out the money changers, because that wasn't what that temple was about. That temple was about worshiping God, which was about finding that divine essence within you. So we all have these archetypes within us as men, and there's also part of this work for women too, but I'm not as well versed on that, so we won't talk about that today. It's called The Wild Woman Within, I believe is the work that parallels the MKP work. And so lastly, we move to the north to the king. The king is the elder. The color is the color of the elder's hair. And it's the place of wisdom and blessings. And it's that place where, one of the things I love about MKP is that we honor aging, which is something we don't do well in our culture, right? It's like once you're not a warrior anymore, there's not really a lot of use for you in our culture. And so in MKP, we honor the king, the elder, the man who comes with wisdom and experience and generosity and kindness. And so the thing is that we have all these different pieces, and there's always one area that's a little bit less developed than the other. And our work is to kind of develop those things and to become a whole man, to become a better father, to become a better husband or partner or boss or employee. And this is what we do. I just want you to know there are things like this happening in the world, in case you wonder what men are doing. There's some good stuff going on. In my experience in Unity, most of the circles are about 80% women. I wonder where the men are sometimes, but there's work being done, and hopefully more of it will continue to happen. So there's a man who is one of my heroes who does this kind of work in the world. His name is Father Gregory Boyle. And some of you may have heard of him. He runs and created Homeboy Industries. It's based in the worst area of LA, where there are over, I want to say, 11,000 gangs and 120,000 gang members. And they have 15,000 people come through their doors annually who stay for 18 months and do this healing work. And his whole piece right now, what he's teaching, is a community of kinship, a community of care, a community of compassion. Every man that walks in that door, he says, has a hole in them the size of their father. Because their father wasn't there, or if he was abusive, and the mother was either frightened or frightening. And every one of these kids, he calls them kids even though they're in their 20s or 30s, is coming in with that big wound. And he isn't about fixing that wound. He's about loving them. He's about willing to be there with courageous compassion, to see the Christ in them, to see the divine essence within them. And these miracles happen. They offer all kinds of services, tattoo removal. There's a story about this one guy who walked in, and across his forehead it says, F the world. And he comes in to see Father Greg, and he says, Father Greg, I'm having trouble getting a job. And so they offer tattoo removal. Like one doctor or someone who does that came in one day and said, can I help? And now they have like 25 people who do tattoo removal for these gang members. And it's through this loving compassion, this courageous compassion, that he's changing the world. And he says, I fell into it. We're now the largest gang rehab and reentry program in the world. And people want to know how you do it, and how can we duplicate this over here? And they think it's about results. And he says, I don't care about results. It's about presence. As Jack Kornfield would say, it's not about the future of humanity. It's about the presence of eternity. The presence of eternity. Right here, right now, is all the love and resources and compassion that is needed to heal our lives and to bless our world. I believe this was Jesus' mission. He came to teach us about our relationship with God and how much God loves us. It's not about learning the 10 Commandments or, all that religious stuff. That's a third grade God, And that just keeps people in line, especially people who can't think or connect with that love because of their wounds. And so what we do here, we all know this, that love of God is present and available to us at every moment. And that demonstration through our compassion and how we are with each other, which leads me to this next point about Juneteenth. So our Unity Worldwide Ministries had its conference this last week, and they created, I want to get this right, a DEI, a resolution of diversity, equality, and inclusion that our unity movement stands for. And I'm just going to read the first paragraph of it. An official statement from Unity Worldwide Ministries. Unity Worldwide Ministries stands for anti-racism, i.e. we are opposed to racial hatred, racial violence, bias, systemic racism, and the oppression of people of color. We stand for diversity, equality, equity, and inclusion for people who are marginalized because of their color. No individual group should be made to live in fear or excluded from society. Recent events in the United States and the world remind us that violent repression, prejudice, injustice, and the inequalities towards people of color are embedded in societies, from social structure to institutions to cultures. So there's much more to that, and if you want to see the rest of it, go to the Unity Worldwide Ministries website or Facebook page, and it's there. And I love the fact, and I look around this room and I realize who I'm talking to. There are a couple people of color here. But it's really not our issue, is it? This is an affluent community. I was told this is an affluent ministry. And we don't really have to worry too much about people of color and what their problems are. And yet, it's our responsibility because we are the blessed ones. When you're the chosen people, when you're blessed, you're chosen to help those less fortunate, those on the margins. as I look at my friend Renata and think about the work that she does to help refugees and people from Syria. And there's a lot of work like that that's going on. And that's what heals us, is that, because what happens with these gang members at Homeboys? These are warring gangs that come in, and he puts them to work. They have bakeries. They have 9 different companies. And there's warring gang members making croissants next to each other. Wow. And you can't marginalize somebody when you know them. Think about the people you know. You might hate the people who are crossing the border, but I bet you don't hate your housekeeper. So this is our work, is to see the divine within each person, to love each other into wholeness, to know the kinship, that there is only one of us in the mind of God, that I and my Father and you and I, we are one. And all the stuff that's going on in the outer world right now, and you might not agree with me, you might think that, yeah, we got to get them out of here, and that's okay too. You're still part of us. Trump is part of us. Biden is part of us. You know what Anne Lamont said? She said, you know you've created God in your image when God hates the same people you do. Mm-hmm. So the only reason that, because God doesn't hate. So if you think that God hates fags or whatever, you created that God. That's not the real God. So we are here to love each other. We're here to be courageously compassionate in the world, to be that expression of the divine. And it's a wake-up call. Everything that's happened. Why, all this stuff that's happening, Juneteenth, Pride Month, all these things that are happening in the world right now, because it's a wake-up call. All the violence, all the things that are going up are a wake-up call to remind us where we came from and what we are made of. All right, so that's my soapbox for today. I don't know why I'm this way. I've been this way all my life. I've always felt that if I can help somebody, that's what I want to do. When I get on an airplane, I'm looking like, how can I help somebody put their luggage away? How can I help that person get through the day and just know that somebody cares about them? So we have some things going on in this ministry that we're going to hear about coming up. And one of them is the lease and the deal with our property here and where we're going to be and what we're going to do. And what Father Greg says, I don't care about results. I care about what's going on in the morning. And I've been caring about the results of this lease, like it's up to me to decide where we're going to be. And it's not. What's mine to do is to love you and to love this ministry and to inspire you. And God will do the rest. So I was saying things like, I don't know where we're going to be, but I'm not going to say that anymore, because I'm going to say, we're right where God wants us to be. And you are right where God wants you to be, no matter what's going on in your life. You're right there. You're supposed to be there. So I'm going to hold that space as we go forward as a community to deal with our current location issues, which is more of a money issue. So we're going to affirm prosperity and affirm that blessing in our ministry, and we're going to be right where we're supposed to be. So that's just a little preview of something that's coming up that was tied to a little piece. Last thing I want to say is about solstice. So solstice is coming up. I'm a Leo, so I love this time. It's like I'm a sun king. Everything about the sun I love. And so we look at this and we say, oh, the sun is at its highest point right now. But it has nothing to do with the sun. It's all about the earth. It's where we are. It's how the world is tilted. As the sun just is there and the earth moves around, which is a beautiful example of metaphysics. because metaphysics is about the inside out, living life from the inside out. And we think the sun is doing something special, but it's really the earth that's moving. So it's the same thing with God. We think God is doing something when the full presence and power of God is within us at every moment. And what we have to do is turn a little bit more maybe, and connect with that energy to express what it is that we want to express in this life. And so as we get to experience these longer days, which just means there's more light, we get to tap into the divine qualities and express them in our lives and in our world. So, happy Father's Day, happy solstice, happy Juneteenth, and happy Pride Month. Namaste. You're welcome.
And happy Father's Day to you. Now we move into our celebration of abundance, our opportunity to give back from our financial abundance. You can donate through our webpage or text the amount to 561-531-5490. You can also scan the QR code or drop it off in one of our Abundance Center boxes on your way out. In keeping our time of giving sacred, I would like you to now take your gift in your hand and bless it. You are planting the seeds to your own prosperity and giving back to God from the abundance that has already been provided for you. Breathe life into your gift and thank God that you have this gift to give. Now affirm with me the offertory blessing. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Thank you. All right. So this is a song written by the Avid brothers, who Sophia and I had the pleasure to meet a couple times, and it's called Salvation Song. And I just want to do a little bit of the metaphysics of salvation. So Jesus didn't come here to save us, because the only thing that we can be saved from is ourselves. And but salvation happens when we align ourselves with the Christ consciousness. In other words, we are awakened, we are healed, we are transformed. So I just wanted to throw that in there as we sing this salvation song. I know this one a little better.
We'll keep an eye on.
And if you take up my heart, don't leave the smallest part. I've no need to live if you're to come up gone. And as my life turns to a song, and if and when I treat you wrong, no, I never want to hurt our family. And I would give up everything. No, this is not just about me. And I don't know a plainer way to say it, babe. And they may pay us off in vain, but that is not why we came. And I know well and good that won't heal our hearts. We came for salvation. We came for family. We came for all that's good. That's how we'll walk away. We came to break the bad. We came to cheer the sad. We came to leave behind the world a better way.
Now if I'm walking through the
love laughs at your dreams, and if they're as bad as it seems, either way, one of them has got to go. And if you take of my soul, well, you can still leave it whole with the pieces of your own you leave behind. We came for salvation. We came for family. We came for all that's good, that's how we'll walk away. We came to break the bad. We came to cheer the sad. We came to leave behind the world a better way. And I would give up everything if you were to come up clean and see you shine so bright in a world of woe. And they may pay us off in fame, that is not why we came. And if it compromises truth, then we will go. We came for salvation. We came for family. We came for all that's good, that's how we'll walk away. We came to break the bad. We came to cheer the sad. We came to leave behind the world a better way. We came for salvation. We came for family. We came for all that's good, that's how we'll walk away. We came to break the bad. We came to cheer the sad. We came to leave behind the world a better way. Let's take this opportunity to bless the gifts. So thank you, loving Father, Mother God, for the divine abundance that flows into this ministry. And thank you for the wisdom that comes with it that allows us to discern the best use of these funds, to bless each other, to bless this community, to bless the world. And we give thanks for each and every one of you. We bless each giver, seeing you abundantly blessed in all good things as you complete the cycle of abundance with your giving. We also open our hearts to bless the children of this ministry, holding this space for the children to return as our youth and family ministry program gets back on its feet. We open our hearts a little bit more to include all the children of the world, seeing them provided for, protected, and blessed now and always. And lastly, we bring everyone on our prayer list here at Unity of Jupiter into our minds and hearts, affirming their prayers are answered with the grace and love of God. And we give thanks and pray all of this in the name and in the nature of the indwelling Christ presence as we stand and sing together the peace song. And I also just want to mention our chaplains. Do we have any chaplains here today? Nancy's here. She'll pray with you after the service if you'd like prayer support. Okay.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be.
protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And God, yay, God. And we're going to have fellowship today. There's a cake for Father's Day and coffee, and we invite you to stick around for it. God bless you. Have a great week.